Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be looking back at the Nintendo Switch. And I know some of you might be thinking, hey, that released like 5 years ago, why are you looking at it now? Well, the truth is, Nintendo's added a lot to their console lineup since then. We have the Switch Lite, and the OLED Switch. So I thought maybe taking a look at all three might help you make a purchase decision if you're in the market for one. Alright, so first up we have the Switch. Originally released in 2017 with a 6.2-inch 1280 by 720 display, it has a 4.5 hour to a 9 hour battery life. Now these consoles do come with a bit of an issue. They have what's called stick drift. That means that over time, crumbs and stuff get behind these little joysticks and will cause it to pull to one side or the other. Now there are several repairs for this, including Nintendo. Nintendo will let you send in your Joy-Cons and they'll repair them for free and send them back. There are, however, a lot of home remedies you can do, and you can find plenty of videos if you just search up stick drift on the internet and go to videos. There's plenty of options out there. The Nintendo Switch is one of the top 3 best-selling consoles of all time. It's number 3 behind the Nintendo DS at second place, with 154 million copies sold, and the PS2 with 155 million copies sold. The Nintendo Switch globally is right now sitting at 122.5 million sold. And that number goes up every day because they keep pushing out new consoles. People keep buying them. The original Switch can be played in 2 different modes. You have docked mode and handheld mode. In handheld mode, you get that 720p screen, and when you dock it at home, it charges it and you get to play at 1080p. One of the biggest things with the Nintendo Switch is its video game library. It doesn't have the biggest one or the most expansive one like companies like Microsoft and Sony do, but it does have a lot of exclusive titles and a lot of franchises that a lot of fans love. One of those is Pokemon. Surely you've heard of it. It has everything from Pokemon Go-like game experiences for mobile and Pokemon exploration games like Mystery Dungeon and remakes of classic games like Pokemon Pearl and Pokemon Diamond. Another franchise that everyone loves is Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing New Horizons is an expansive and relaxed game. With hours of gameplay, you build your own island in your own image. Alright, I think we've heard enough about the Nintendo Switch. Let's introduce the next iteration, the Nintendo Switch Lite. You'll notice it has a distinctive color. This is actually my girlfriend's Nintendo Switch. She used a vinyl skin to change the color, something you can do with every iteration of the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch Lite does not offer detachable Joy-Cons, but does offer a full-size D-pad along with a 5.5-inch LCD screen. It's at the same resolution as the regular Switch at 1280 by 720. The Switch Lite was introduced in 2019. It comes in at $199, which is $100 cheaper than the regular Switch, has a 3.5 hour to a 7 hour battery life, which is a bit less than the regular Switch. It also doesn't offer a docked mode. So that means when it comes time to charge, you can't just slap it in a dock, you have to manually plug it in. And while that doesn't sound like a chore, having lived with the regular Switch dock, I'm not sure I could go back. Alright, I've introduced you to the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch Lite. Let's look over some pros and cons of both. So the Nintendo Switch has handheld and docked modes. That makes it convenient for play at home and play on the go. It has that larger 6.2-inch LCD screen. It's at 1280 by 720. Has a longer battery life than the regular Switch Lite at 4.5 to 9 hours. And it has Joy-Cons that are detachable, so if you want to play with a friend while you're out and about, you just take off the Joy-Con and you both have your own controller. Some cons of the Nintendo Switch are that it's a little more expensive than the Switch Lite at $299. It's a bit heavier, a little bigger, so it's a little less portable, and it's also prone to that stick drift I was talking about earlier. The Switch Lite has some pros of its own though. It comes in at that bare price point of $199, it's lighter, and it has a smaller footprint than the original Switch. Both of those combine to make that it's a better portable device. So if you're on the go more than you're trying to play a game at home, this might be the one for you. However, it is less prone to that stick drift, but it's still there. It has some big cons though. It doesn't come with a docked mode, and it doesn't come with detachable Joy-Cons. That means that you'll have to plug it in manually, and if you want to play with friends on the go, you have to bring your own controllers for both. One big thing to consider is that if you plan on getting Nintendo's Labo, you have to go with one of the other 2 Switches, either the original Switch or the OLED Switch. It's not compatible at all with the Switch Lite. Alright, now let's talk about Nintendo's newest console iteration, the OLED Switch. Some people call it the Switch Pro, but in reality it's only very small improvements. You get a bigger 7-inch OLED screen, so you're going to get a bit of a crisper image with darker blacks, a less bezel on the screen, but at the same time it's still at 1280 by 720p resolution, which is it that much of an improvement? I don't think so. The dock also has an internet port, so if you want to hardwire your Switch to the internet, you can do that. I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. It comes in at a higher price point of $499, $100 more expensive than the original Switch, and it's still prone to that stick drift, which they haven't fixed with their newest Switch. Next, let's talk about Nintendo's other offering. This one isn't a physical console you can hold, this is an online subscription called Nintendo Switch Online. It's a yearly subscription that gets you access to several exclusive items. Two of them are Pac-Man and Tetris. You play against dozens of other people to compete for the highest score. You also get an NES and an SNES emulator. Now this yearly subscription is going to cost you $20, $19.99 a year. It's not that bad when compared to something like Sony's PlayStation Gold or Xbox Live. Along with Nintendo's regular $20 a year subscription, they also offer a higher tier, Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion. This is $49.99 a year. And you might be thinking, whoa, that's more than double the price. What good is it for me? It gives you access to a Nintendo 64 emulator on your Switch, a Game Boy emulator on your Switch, and also several paid DLCs and a few select games. So if you're thinking about getting these games, it might save you paying a lot of extra money for some DLCs, whereas you can just pay this once a year and get them for free, more or less. Okay everyone, to wrap things up, we have 3 different devices. We have the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch Lite, and the Nintendo Switch OLED. The regular Switch is going to come in at $299, have a dock, Joy-Cons, have a big 6.2-inch LCD screen. The Switch Lite comes in at a smaller $199, has better portability, less drift. The OLED Switch is $399, has a bigger 7-inch OLED screen, has a network port on the dock. Okay friends, I think that wraps it up for this video. If you liked it, give it a like. If you don't like it, leave a comment telling me what I could do differently. If you really liked it, go ahead and hit subscribe to be notified of when the next video releases.